So the logo, Mascarin, is going to be the family's last name. It's the Mascarin family with the Fibonacci sequence, which kind of relates to the brand in multiple ways. The first way being Mia is a math geek, so she loves the symmetry of it all. Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Is this Pinot, you said?
This is Pinot, yes.
Oh, nice.
So our first Pinot of the day. This is the Pinot under the Mascarin label.
Okay.
So I'll show that.
Beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
a 2022. This is going to be the Moonshine Ranch, which is Martinelli fruit.
Okay.
That's one of the oldest families here in Sonoma County.
Yeah, we visited them back with Sonoma Wine Month.
There you go.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well versed. They've been here for, I think, 130 years.
Yeah, back to like the 1880s or something, right?
They've been around for a long time, and our winemaker, Matt Taylor, is a Sonoma County native, so he was familiar with them and was able to establish a relationship to plant some Pinot.
Nice.
So they have this beautiful property with these 8-foot rows of their old vine Pinot, and Matt went in and he said, can I plant my vineyards in between those?
Oh, wow.
And so we have our tiny little baby Pinots planted, turning those rows into 4-foot rows, and that's where this fruit is coming from.
Wow.
So it's technically Russian River AVA, but it's a very Sonoma Coast style. It's very fruit forward. It's 100% whole cluster, which essentially means that it leaves the stem of the grape in it, and so that really adds this spice, this element of spice that you really only get in whole cluster from, and often you'll taste that in Zinfandel and these things that have that spice. It comes from the stem. I watched Matt take a bite of the stem and make a face, and I gave it a bite myself, and I was like, oh, it's spicy. It's really spicy. It adds this element that sometimes a really fruit forward wine really, it complements something sweet and spicy. We love our sweet and spicy, so cheers to that.
Cheers. Well, let's take a taste of this Pinot.
Yeah.
Russian River Valley is where we're talking, right?
Yep, that's the one. And this is a 22.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
It's delicious. You can definitely tell that feeling on the back of your tongue is that spicy element that I was referring to.
And it kind of finishes it off with a little bit of spice before it goes away.
Yeah,
like
so it's another thing about exposing your wines to oxygen is they're gonna last so much longer. You're gonna be able to, this is still so young, it's a 22, it's gonna sit and taste beautifully throughout the next even 10 years, so. I'm excited to try it in a few years and see where it's sitting. So.
Now I'm thinking, because it's the holidays, I'm thinking you could pair this with a turkey, prime rib.
Yeah.
It's gonna make the meal. It really is.
We have we've met with chefs, and I've given them this wine, and I said, what would you pair with it? And we had one chef pair it with he made it into a dessert wine, so he paired it with a cannoli. And this element, it was
I could see that.
Blackberry cannoli with pistachio, and it just really brought out the fruit forwardness and the salty and the spiciness of this wine. It was a beautiful pairing.
Now, what would chocolate do with this?
Chocolate? Well, I've never tried, so I can't report, but I imagine that I think that this wine does well with something creamy and that has a lot of fat on it. So maybe something more of like a milk chocolate would tastes beautifully, but there's only one way to find out, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do it.
To do a chocolate run.
Yeah, exactly. So, cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Pinot from the Russian River Valley with a little bit of spiciness. I like it. I'm gonna take another sip.
Go for it. I just did.
Just as good with the third sip. Just as
good. I'm glad.
Cheers.
Cheers.